the illness, because it had not been made at the time, regardless of what was said, because the question is, whatever was said, it should have been an exculpatory statement. I didn't do it, I mean, it was a mistake, etc. And by not having that statement, I think that the defense does not want any kind of statement to then be used that was not consistent with an exculpatory statement.
Can we get the family? I mean, again, your observations, what you think of what you've heard so far from these BART officers, now 3 on the stand.
Just back up.
I've been constantly looking at, I'm sure the family, at what Oscar did that would have justified his murder. And as far as what we can see, what I've seen is that Oscar has not done anything in videos nor the testimony through all the defense witnesses that suggest that he should have been murdered. You know, this thing about the state of mind and about Oscar grabbing the officer's arm, the video is not going to show that. You know, they're going to make us assume that that's been seen, but Oscar did not do that. He constantly stated that this was wrong, what was happening.
What goes through your mind when you hear these officers talking and you hear them point out, this wasn't in your report, now you're saying this. This wasn't in your report, now you're saying it. It's
very sad that we happen to be in a society where there's peace officers that will lie to protect each other. You know, if you're an officer, you've been trained to observe and report every situation that may occur on a situation that involves murder. And you are to report that because it has some relevance to the fact of the case. And because that has not been shared, because all this stuff has been covered up and hidden, leaves me, and I'm sure everybody else, to see that there's a cover-up that's taking place.
I think that's the bottom line.
That's the bottom line.
And if there wasn't video, it would still be covered up.
It would still be covered up.
Well, if there was no video, it would be an entirely different case.
And Bobby, how does that make you feel? What do you think about that?
It's sad, you know, because we're supposed to be in a society where these peace officers are paid to protect and serve, to tell the truth concerning situations that involves murder, and we're seeing that this is not true. And there's something that needs to be done about that.
And it's not only sad, it's scary. It's scary to know that we have officers out there.
You got to move out.
It's scary because to know that we have officers out there that can say at any given moment, I feel like killing this person. You got my back? And that's what they're doing in there. He killed my nephew, and they're covering for him. And to open up a door like that in this world, we have to now worry about our children, our grandchildren. You know, and then on the flip side, we have the society to worry about, because if they do not convict Meserly, then we have a bunch of citizens that's going to be rebellious. We're going to have a bunch of policemen that think that they can get away with this action. And until they convict Meserly, we have a big problem. And if they don't convict Meserly, then it's going to be really sad.
What's your name, please?
My name is Charmin Jones, and I'm Auntie Cookie.
How do you spell?
C-H-A-R-M-I-N-E.
I think about how Martin Luther King fought for our rights as a people. And as I go through knowing that my son was executed, he was murdered, and I listen to the officers covering up and talk about fear, they're fearing not because of their safety. They're fearing because they're looking at black people and they're trying to bring this perception for everyone else to see on television that you need to be scared of black people, which is absolutely incorrect. This has got to stop. It has got to stop. We are in America and we should be able to have equal rights. And we're still finding that what's going on with the officers lying, I don't know, I don't recall every testimony that when they were asked questions, they could not recall it, they don't know the answer, and yet they still are paid by BART. They still are on administrative leave. The GM of BART is still allowing the cover-up to go on, and it has to stop. It has to stop. There has to be a regard for the African-American young man human life, and there is no regard. There is no regard. The situation, if it was other nationalities, would have been treated differently. And so we need to look at that as a society, at how we label young men, especially African-American men, how we label them and how we put this perception out about them, and that needs to change. That needs to change. Wanda, how do you feel about Tony Peroni? I guess he's going to be one of the next ones on the witness stand. How are you feeling about it? I feel the same way the other officers who have testified has covered up and lied. I feel the same way that he's going to do the same thing. I feel that they have their attorney in there to direct them at what to say, and they're saying exactly what they have been coached to say. It's just a shame that some of the officers didn't really have to go into the OPD till the 20th of January after the incident happened on the 1st, and there was no regard to get the situation taken care of as soon as it occurred. You know, murder occurred. You know, why don't you stop the train and you get the witnesses right then? Why would you allow the train to continue to go with all the witnesses on the train? If there's a car accident, what do the police try to do? They try to isolate the situation. They try to get all the people who witnessed that accident to question them. And this did not happen. They allowed the train to close. They wanted the cameras from people, but they should have talked to all the people on the train, but they didn't do that. So that shows me that they're covering up the situation, and that Officer Peroni, he has been on paid leave. He's still getting paid by the DM, and that's still being covered up. Testimony after testimony has repeatedly said that he was aggressive, that he has hit Oscar, that he need Oscar, and yet nothing happened.
Do you think that he kind of set up this situation? That he's the officer who set this situation?
Oh, sure, he's the aggressor. Yes, he is. And not only do I think that he is the aggressor, I also think that he should be charged also with measure.
Amen.